Welcome to another Zincast, and it's time for your daily fix of NHL playoff news and plays. And let's break down some of the games yesterday. Let's just touch up on them because I want to try to get these videos a little bit shorter. They've been a little bit too long, probably because I ramble on. But let's get on topic. All right, so big news yesterday, a bunch of game twos, and this is an interesting stat. Teams that fall behind 2-0 in an NHL playoff series only go on to advance 12.7% of the time. That means 87% of the time, the team that's up 2-0 wins the series. And yesterday, we had 4 game twos, and all but one of them ended up being a 2-0 series lead. So let's go through it, and we're going to do it in reverse order. West Coast first. The Kings at the Edmonton Oilers. And listen, this was close in the beginning. The first period, there was no score, but then the Oilers opened up the floodgates. Kane with 2 goals. Mike Smith, bounce back game, has a shutout with 30 saves, so it wasn't like he wasn't tested. Connor McDavid, 2 assists, and this was a 6-0 rout. Listen, I don't think anyone expected the Kings to be up 2-0 in the series, but now this series switches back to LA, tied 1-1. And let us go to the Wild and the Blues. Again, the Blues visiting the Wild, so the Wild is the home team in this situation, even though they were really, really close in the standings, if you actually looked at that. But the Wild had a few more wins. And this, Marc-Andre Fleury, yet again, starts in net, and he doesn't post a shutout, but he only gives up 2 goals. One was in the second period, and one was in the third period, and the game was already out of hand at that point. Wild scored 3 in the first period, and the rout was on, and it was 6-2. Kaprizov had 3 goals. He had the Hattie. Toss your hats to him. And again, Marc-Andre Fleury, 32 saves in the victory. I was curious if they were going to switch over to Talbot there. And this was actually good for the Wild because Husso, the goalie for the Blues, shut him out in game 1. So being able to score here is going to build up on their confidence. I thought that should be a tight series. So I'm glad to see the Wild bounce back, and that series now even at 1-1. Let us move on to the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the defending champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Tampa Bay, they know that stat, and they did not want anything to do with it, and they came out to play. 5-3 was the final score here. Hedman a goal, 3 assists. Kucherov a goal, 2 assists. Pretty much the Lightning, they played really, really well in this game. It looked like a much different team than in game 1. And again, 5-3 the final there. So that series is also tied 1-1. And then we go to the black and blue series. The Carolina Hurricanes versus the Boston Bruins. Boston visiting the Carolina Hurricanes. This game was chippy. There was hard hits. There was a lot of fights like this. A lot of everyone getting into it. There were a ton of penalties. And midway through the first period, Pasternak it looked like he took a run at the goalie. He took a run at Ranta. And I don't know if it's accidental. If not, if you ask Coach Rod Brindamore of the Hurricanes, he says definitely not accidental. To me, I could see it going either way. I didn't see why he was that close to the goalie. So I'm going to say, hey, they had a problem scoring against this goalie. And remember, Ranta is the second goaltender. Frederick Anderson is still out with the lower body injury. So they have the kid, the rookie, Kochetkov. He hasn't had any playoff experience. And Ranta has to go out, and by the way, he does not return. And Kochetkov comes in, 30 saves. You got to give credit to this rookie coming in off the bench. This is multiple times we've seen this now in the playoffs where someone comes in off the bench, a goaltender, when they're not expecting to play. Hurricanes did their job in front of them. They post 2 goals after he came in, so he had a lead at that point. And this is 5-2 rout. Again, Boston's goals were later, but it was physical. This is a black and blue series, and it switches now back off to Boston. But the Hurricanes have the 2-0 series lead. All right, and now let us get into some news for today's games. And I think some of the big news is Tom Wilson, game time decision for the Caps. Remember, the Caps have a 1-0 series lead on the President Trophy winners, the Florida Panthers. So that should be interesting. Panthers do not want to go down 2 games in there. Louis Domingue, I almost called him Dominique. Louis Domingue, the hero of the Penguins coming in that triple overtime game, had to come in during the double overtime to help out because Casey DeSmith, lower body injury, and they saying he's day-to-day. Louis Domingue looks like he's going to get the start. Pittsburgh elevated another goaltender, so that's telling you right there. He's going to have his first playoff start, and let's see if he can keep that momentum going. Raquel does not look like he's going to play. He's still being evaluated. That's what the news was as of currently. Hopefully we'll get some more news on him later today. And Zucker, he started practicing a little bit. So that would actually, if he can go, and I don't expect him to go just yet. I feel like every time they bring him back, he just re-injures himself. So I feel like they want to give him time. But if Raquel can't go, which it looks like Raquel is not going to go, you have that open spot in the lineup, and Zucker would fit in nicely. And I think you keep Kapanen on the Malkin line because he definitely responded. I think he had a horrendous regular season, but he had a really good game against the Rangers, and he had the assist on that game-winning goal in triple OT. That is the Predators. Saros is still out, so they said he was going to miss at least 2 games. So the Predators still have to go with backup goaltending against the Avs. I think I've said it a million times. Even with Saros, the Avs had the advantage there, and I think it's going to be another rout. And Dallas versus the Flames. Dallas needs to get more shots than 16 on net. Okay, they're going to have to shoot more, and also, the Flames can score, so if you're only getting 16 shot on net and the Flames score 2 or 3 goals, you're not going to beat them, okay? Dallas, I think, got lucky. If you told me it was a 1-0 hockey game, I would have said, Dallas won 1-0. But no, it was Calgary won 1-0. If you tell me it's like 3-2 or 3-1 or 5-1, I'd be like, Calgary won that game because they just have the most higher power offense and the better depth in the offense. But anyway, that being said, Markstrom does lead the league in shutouts, and he had a shutout against Dallas. But again, 16 shots, so take that for what you will. All right, so I think now is a good time to segue into place some pucking bets with Shant. Unfortunately, Shant is not here with us today. He had some scheduling issues. He's also got to get ready for his Vegas trip. So I'm going to try to handle this segment, and here we go. Really quickly, the Capitals at the Panthers. By the way, breaking news, Wilson, who was a game-time decision earlier, has officially been ruled out for the game. And the Capitals here are obviously the underdog, but they played the Panthers pretty strong. I think I like the money line here at the Capitals on 205. The over-under 6.5, I actually think the over would also play in this case. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Stars at Flame, this one kind of scares me. That over-under is at 5.5. The first game was only 1-0. I expected a lot more firepower, so you would assume this game would have more goals, but the over kind of scares me here. I would think the under in this situation. Predators at the Avs. Again, no Saros, as I mentioned earlier. The over 6.5. The Avs scored 7 last time on the backup goaltending situation for the Predators. So I think that over definitely, again, you're not going to do the money line here. It's minus 400 for the Avs. I mean, you can bet it. They're going to win, but you're not going to make any money. Maybe if you don't mind losing money, maybe you're like the Avs are going to sleepwalk and like not show up, and you throw some money on the Preds, but it's like Hail Mary, like expect to lose that if you do it, but hey, payout is 310, right? Okay, so Penguins at Rangers. We got some official news coming in. D. Smith is officially out So Louis Domingue, he is the starting goaltender. I have official word that he's probably eating the same, what was it, spicy pork with broccoli. No, actually, I don't have that word, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is forced to do so by Sidney Crosby. Other news here is Raquel is out. That is official. And Zucker is game time decision, so he might go. So if Zucker goes, I could see a line of Zucker, Malkin, and Kapanen. So that would be interesting. The over-under here is 5.5. They scored 9 goals, 7 goals last game combined. But that went into overtime, remember. But 5.5, I think I'd probably stay away from the over-under here because even with Louis Domingue being in net, you would think that's going to help for an offensive game by the Rangers. But no one really knows about this guy. He's not really filmed to go watch. So the Rangers are going to be flying blind. And I've seen these backup goaltenders sometimes come in and stand on their heads. And of course, Shesterkin is always going to stand on his head. So you have that. And also, take a look at this. The Penguins, the money line, plus 140. That's not, if you think about it, no Raquel, right, who's a top 2-line forward, okay? They're down to the third string goalie, but the money line's only 140. Look at the other situation with the Predators and the Avs, okay? Plus 310 on the money line for the Preds. But the Penguins only plus 140. So that's telling me that Vegas is not really sure who's going to win this game. And even though it seems like the Rangers at home with Shesterkin, against the third string goaltender, no Raquel, you think they'd be favored a lot more, but they're not. So that's telling you that Vegas is scared, and that's where I'm going to put my bet on the Penguins on the money line. All right. Again, with all these, it's just for entertainment purposes. And if you have a gambling problem, please, call the number that you need to call. Apparently different states have different numbers, by the way. So I'm just saying, look it up for your state, who you should call. And also, gamble responsibly, all right? Okay, listen, I hope you all enjoyed this Zincast. And again, like I said it last time, and I'm going to end the show the same way because it worked. Hockey superstition, okay? It's my show. Let's go Pens.